does it the only way he knows how. With his massive sports brain sprinkled with a smidgen of rabble-rousing. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Noon hour, Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. You're in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Poll question up today: is Connor Happer the reincarnation of Lawrence Welk?
I'm just saying it's mathematically possible.
I mean, ideally, if that was the case, wouldn't you be born on the day that person died or like the day after?
I don't know how long it takes.
How does that work? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know either.
I mean, the soul needs to exit. A new soul needs to end. Or maybe it's the same soul.
Maybe it takes a week.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes a week. So, by the way, on Lawrence Welk, Ron writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Ron.
Ron says, Lawrence Welk trivia. He used to bring his band once a year to a ballroom northeast of Oakland, Nebraska. The old ballroom is still standing out in the country. Well, maybe it had a bathroom.
With a flushable toilet.
Flushable toilet.
Yeah, what was the bathroom situation at this ballroom?
Because at his house as a kid, nothing like that. Nothing going on there. Keep in mind, Lawrence Welk was born in 1903 in rural North Dakota. What do you think rural North Dakota was like in 1903? Kind of a lot like it is right now?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I actually bet it's pretty close.
I bet it was worse.
You bet it was worse then?
Yeah.
I don't know. Josh. Poll question. Was rural North Dakota worse in 1903 or now? That's a really difficult poll question. You can figure it out. You can figure out the words from there. So welcome back. A lot of things that we still have to get to today. MLB reaction, overreaction is coming up in a few minutes. And yes, the writers have requested humbly that we talk about Jack Caglione, so we will.
It's incredible that they would suggest that
during MLB reaction, overreaction. But a lot of this is I'm trying to figure out exactly what has happened. You know, I'm trying to figure out what the conversations are about. What are people talking about? What are people mad about? So I get an email. And I figured this is one of the things. This is from Bad Takes Doug on the Equitable Bank inbox. Not Old Man Doug. I get some tweets from Old Man Doug about drinking wine on the. Did you see this? Did you see some Old Man Doug tweets over the last couple days?
He's not picking up the phone on the first ring. He's out enjoying this beautiful country of ours.
He is in wine country, just tweeting at us, which is great. So thank you, Old Man Doug. But this is from Bad Takes Doug. Question. Regarding Nebraska baseball, what do you think I'm going to say, Josh? What do you think Doug's question is? What are the expectations for Husker baseball? It's the funniest thing every year. It's just this random. Nobody could ever get to the bottom of it. Nobody could ever answer the question.
Are we firing Will Bolt or not?
Here's what Doug says: we were supposed to dominate the Big Ten. We have a premier ballpark. And for the most part, Husker fans care about baseball. Will Bolt is barely above 55% winning percentage after his sixth season as the head coach of D1 Husker baseball. I'm just reading the email. And Willie Hustle has never coached a D1 program before here and got keys to the car. Willie Hustle. I like it. I believe we should be top quartile on average every year of the Big Ten. I'm just reading it. If we hadn't played the Big Ten tournament in Omaha, there's no way this team would have made a regional. I know he's a good guy, but so is Mike Riley. I trust your baseball guidance. What do you think? Is it time to free Willie? Bad Takes Doug.
All right.
I love the words in that email.
Quartile was good. Free Willie, Willie Hustle. There was some good in that email. Let's not immediately dismiss it.
Absolutely. I'm not dismissing it. I'm not dismissing it at all. In fact, I'll try to answer the question as best as I can with understanding that this particular conversation is becoming a little bit like the Dak Prescott contract.
A little bit, yeah.
Where I'm just like, okay. we're never going to figure this out.
Very quickly before you do that, Stibbs in the chat says, I didn't follow that email at all. Let me surmise it for you. Fire Will Bolt because he's a loser. That's what Bad Takes Doug is saying. Remember,
he's just asking the question, Josh. He's not demanding.
Bad Takes Doug is his name.
He's just asking the question. And he apparently trusts my baseball guidance.
Sure, we all do.
I will say this, Bad Takes Doug. There's a couple different things working here. I think Nebraska would be. I think it'd behoove Nebraska to really invest into their baseball program and build them what they want and fully fund the team in terms of scholarships and get some help from NIL and get some help from rev sharing once that goes into effect. But I just don't think Nebraska has a lot of that because I don't think Nebraska has an athletic director that cares at all about baseball. And I don't think it's just the athletic director. Here's what happens. It's not just they don't care about baseball because they chose not to care about baseball. You could accuse them of that and you wouldn't be wrong. But the truth of the matter is, it's that the places that really invest in baseball are the places that show it. So what do you think, for example, Virginia just lost their head coach of 22 years who won a national championship in Brian O'Connor, lost to Mississippi State. Mississippi State is completely and totally invested into their baseball program. They have condos in the outfield. They have all the facilities that you could ever imagine. And they just stole a national championship head coach who's basically in his prime coaching years, has a ton of experience, and has won a national championship from an ACC school. What do you think Virginia's going to do now? Are they going to roll over and lay down? Or are they going to try and hire a coach? Are they going to go to their next coach and say, look, we haven't, because anybody who takes that job next is going to come in and say, well, why did Brian leave? Why did Brian O'Connor leave? And they'll have to answer that question. And they'll have to say, look, it's not going to be a concern. We are fully invested in you. And whatever you need, we're going to make it happen.
Is Virginia sort of the Texas A&M of the ACC?
I don't know. I don't know. They have a decision to make. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying, right? They have a decision to make. What do they want to do with it? But it's a place where they have won. And so are you going to get that back, right? And for Brian O'Connor, he's been there for a really long time. He probably needs a change of scenery too, great, all that stuff. So it's not a total one-to-one. But the places that invest are the places that have done it before, or the places that will get passed up if you don't. Right? In the SEC. Nebraska is not in a place where they will get passed up if they don't. They are not compelled to invest in their baseball program. They're not. As sad as it is, they're not. And I know people around here really remember the times in which they were winning and they were in a different conference and just the world was a lot different. It was. But Nebraska's not going to be pouring money into their baseball program. I would love them to. I think they should. But you are going to have to get the wins are going to have to come first. And then the coach, whoever it is, whether it's Will Bolt or somebody else, will get the leverage to go to the athletic director and say, look, I know you like winning. I know you like winning. We're winning right now, but we need more to continue this. You want to keep me? You want to keep my staff? You want to keep these players? We need more. Then and only then, Nebraska would even consider making that investment into its baseball program. I'm sorry. That's just how it's going to work. And so what are the expectations? That you hopefully get there at some point. But if you feel like you have the guy that can get you there, then you stick with it as long as you possibly can until it gets really, really bad. And I don't think we're even close to that right now. No, I don't.
No.
I absolutely don't. We're not close to that at the moment. And in order to be that type of program that really, shows up eventually, it doesn't It doesn't happen overnight. Not to say that everything is going fine. They'll have to tweak and things are going to be different and tweak staff and, figure out the right combination. And as Bad Takes Doug mentioned, Will's new, like relatively in terms of being a Division I, head coach. And there's this whole changing world around him. Like, I'm not saying that you just have to wait until eventually it pops and then you go. But I'm just saying right now you have a guy that's got you to 3 NCAA tournaments and 4 NCAA tournaments in 5 years now, right? I think. And a regular season championship and 2 postseason championships.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that is anywhere close to like, oh, you need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
No, I'm not ready for that.
You're not going to free Willie. He's won back-to-back Big Ten tournament titles.
Right. But if you want to talk about the bigger problem, if you want to talk about the bigger thing and investment and all that stuff, it's just Nebraska, along with other schools in the Big Ten, are not compelled to do it because the people around them aren't doing it. And the people that they are recruiting against aren't doing it. And this is why you see Cam Kozel at Vanderbilt in Arkansas, right? Because it was very early. It was like, oh, that guy is going to be a really good player. We're going to go after him. Absolutely. But those teams down there have more than we do. And they have more to offer and they have better players and all of the other things. So you have to find a way to have the success as the Northern school when you're in a conference that just doesn't care. Just doesn't, or maybe I shouldn't say doesn't care, but certainly doesn't care very much. Right? So all that.
Along the way, as you're trying to build the winner, you have to remember that your roster's going to get poached if you are good at all.
Yep. And you have to win in spite of it.
Right. Yep.
Sorry.
That makes it harder.
Now, with that being said, you have more than a lot of schools do.
Sure.
Right? So it's all about your perspective on it. But I just don't think Nebraska needs to be comparing itself to anybody in the SEC at the moment. Like it's not like they're going to go out there and steal an ACC head. Like, I don't know that people had dreams of this or whatever, but like, it was like, oh, maybe we could go get Brian O'Connor. Like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
He wasn't leaving there for a job that paid him less than $4 million a year. That's college baseball. Will's making less than $1 million.
And that disparity between fan support and administrative support is always going to be frustrating.
Right.
You're going to see a packed chuck box and go, why not invest? Because they don't have to.
Every summer, coming up in a couple weeks, everybody will have dreams of this. They'll be like, damn, wouldn't it be sweet to do it? Especially in this new age of rev sharing and all that stuff. Like, the Big Ten is going to care about the football program first and basically only. Let's take a phone call on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here's Rick on the line. Hi, Rick. Good to hear from you. What's up?
Oh, thank you. You guys, whichever one of you did the call the other day, you guys did a great job. Anyway,
thank you
on the baseball game. Anyway, I got laid off from the car wash today. It's raining, so I just thought I'd sit home and figure out what to do. But I enjoy the topic. I think there's a couple factors that tie into what you're talking about. Number one, your AD's only been here about a year, correct?
Yeah, just a little more. Yep.
Yeah. So he's still getting his feet on the ground. You got football, volleyball is obviously successful. Women's basketball is looking good. The baseball is I don't think it's broken. Weather plays a big factor in trying to get a kid to stay here. And with the Cozio kid and the Lewis kid from Millard, of course, he went to the pros. The more the more equipped players are probably going to look for greener pastures with, like you said, down in Texas or the Oklahomas and in places. But getting back to the whole thing with revenue, baseball doesn't exactly generate a lot of revenue, even though Haymarket sells out because, it's probably one of the neater, there really ain't a whole lot to do in Lincoln, is there? I mean, you go to a baseball game, you go to basketball. I mean, in the spring. But I think the one thing that if football doesn't coincide with baseball, So if the new AD really wanted to pull a marketing stunt, what do you think would happen if he threw Belichick as an assistant coach with that baseball team along with the package he brings? Don't you think that would bring some recruits to Omaha?
Wait a minute. You think they should hire Bill Belichick as an assistant baseball coach?
As an assistant, yeah, when he's done coaching North Carolina.
Hell yeah!
After their spring.
Hell yeah,
Hey,
Rick.
One other piece of nonsense for you. What are the best two things coming out of Nebraska?
I don't know. You got me. Tell me.
I-80 and Jordy Ball.
Nice. Admiral Jordy Ball. Thank you, Rick.
She's an admiral now.
What? Where did he come up with the Bill Belichick assistant baseball coach
I like
thing?
it. That's a good investment. I'm going to give Rick all my money. Have Jordan running around these halls.
Director of Ops, Jordan. Yeah. VJ writes it on Twitter.
Hi, VJ.
As a baseball first guy, it pains me to say Nebraska needs football to win first. Then they invest more in basketball and baseball.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. You start there and, and then you build off of it. So there was a lot of stuff that was said in Rick's call that I tried to make mental notes to myself as we went along, but John follows up. He says, wait a minute, Rick was laid off from the car wash because it's raining? I believe that was a classic Rick joke, yes. That just seems a little harsh. It's going to eventually stop raining. Maybe it wasn't the rain. They just used that as an excuse to get rid of him. I don't think Rick works at the car wash in real life. I think that Rick was just making a dad joke about the fact that if he did work at a car wash, he'd get laid off today because it was raining.
I love the idea of one-day layoffs at a car wash. Like, that's raining. We got to lay people off.
Fired. And you just go through the whole hiring process again tomorrow. Yeah. All right, back to the phones. Here's Andrew on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hi, Andrew.
How you guys doing?
What's up? I'm good.
Does is Erstead, has he ever given anything back to the baseball program with all the success he had? And are there any donors that are purely baseball donors that would give just to baseball?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, Nebraska has a couple famous alums. I don't know, not enough to fund. I mean, we're not talking about $20 million here, but we're talking about little investments and donations into the program over time.
And then, this is totally off topic, but who is going to be the point guard for Creighton coming up this year?
Nick Graves.
You think he will over, who's that other kid they just got? Can't remember.
Well, Josh Dix will be in the starting lineup too.
Yeah. Who's that? The other guy from kind of a smaller college.
Blake Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bigger guy. He's like a wing, a stretch four type.
So do you see him in the starting lineup?
We'll see. As of right now, maybe not. But if things go well for him, then certainly capable.
Okay, I was just wondering. I'm a Creighton fan first and a Nebraska fan last.
Excellent. Last. All right. Thanks for the call, Andrew.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Last.
Great.
But he had all these Nebraska baseball questions.
Nebraska fan last. Everybody thinks that all the problems are fixed just by hey, who's the richest person that we have access to, and can they donate all their money to the program?
I mean, Alex Gordon made $121 million in his Major League Baseball career. Why isn't he sharing some of that with the place that made him?
They made him a facility. They put his name on it. I'm sure he donated heavily to get that building built.
I would imagine.
That'd be my guess. It's really eye-opening. You go to a place like Arkansas. So, Josh, here's what they have at Arkansas.
Okay.
They have, I took pictures, I put them out on Twitter Thursday last week.
Right.
That's just a little bit of it because we got to use Creighton got to use their training facility to practice, and they went in and lifted weights. But I kind of walked around and
did you trespass?
No, it was very much allowed.
Man,
very much allowed. So we're talking baseball only. Weight room, full on. And then below that, there's a full on pitching kind of lab. There's immediate, you hook them up to cameras and there's immediate, data and movement that go to 10 computers in a room that's attached to it. We're talking full locker room, training table. We're talking about a huge like atrium weight room with all the trophies and stuff like that. And then it connects to the right field corner ledge where, people could go out and have a beer and watch the baseball game. And that's not all. We're talking pools and things like that. That's all in one building. That's the new building that they finished up about 5 years ago.
And what minor league team do they share this facility with?
They do not share this with the Northwest Arkansas Naturals or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And then right next to their track facility, which is right next door, they have another baseball facility.
A second baseball facility?
That's correct.
Fayetteville?
With an entire infield. They have an entire life-size infield where they could take full-on batting practice and full-on ground balls if they want to indoors during the cold months of the winter. That's all for baseball. And so
they don't share it.
You don't get that just from one guy coming in and saying, here's $1 million. That'd be nice. Anything helps. But like that's consistent over a long period of time. You need money to not only fund the building, but to the upkeep and the employees and all the things that go into running a building like that. It is a nonstop investment. And that's what Arkansas has. Nebraska doesn't have to be Arkansas, and they're not going to be Arkansas. But I love when people come in and they're like, hey, do they got any people who could give the program like a couple $1 million and kind of get this thing going? Like
that might get you 2 players.
Right. So that is they care. I've said this 1 million times, but down there, man, like it's not a football place where they just show up to baseball games. They care about baseball. They care about Arkansas baseball, and they invest in Arkansas baseball. It's like Nebraska football is here. They have people walking around who are employed by the university. I mean, so many people are employed, and are involved with Arkansas baseball. And so it opens your eyes a little bit. Nebraska's not going to be that. They're going to have it's a mid-major program because they're in a mid-major conference. And so what do the mid-major conferences always do in basketball every year? They make the best out of what they have, and they roll the ball out there, and they see if they can. There's a couple good teams in their conference every year, and they'll see if they can get to the NCAA tournament, and maybe you could get 2, 3, 4 teams in from the Big Ten Conference on a yearly basis into the NCAA baseball tournament. Not much beyond that. It's going to be hard. So you have to make the best of what you have. I understand that people want more investment into this thing, but I just think it's not worth your time to like yearn for it. It's not going to happen.
You have a better shot of being like a Murray State where the bracket just breaks right for you.
Right. So we get up in arms and we're like, oh, they got to fire the coach. Like, could they do better? I mean, I don't know, probably, but like, it's not worth upheaving the entire. It's not worth the upheaval of the entire thing, just to, see if what's on the other side is instantly better, and then who knows if it's better in 3 years. Like, no, you're not going to fire a coach, in my opinion. Here is Tim on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hi, Tim. What's up?
Hey, guys. Hey, do you think the Big Ten's a mid-major baseball conference? Because it's not. I mean, the only reason why Arkansas is winning right now is because they have Walmart money, which is number 1. 2, they have Dave Van Horn, and Dave Van Horn made Nebraska into a so-called good program back in the day.
When Nebraska was in the Big 12.
That they still got here.
Mm-hmm.
The Big 12 conference is a better baseball conference than the Big 10.
Correct.
So they have Walmart money. All it comes down to it. And we have Howard Hawks. You guys forgot to mention that. But
thanks for the call, Tim. I appreciate it.
Guys, they don't own their own facility. We're miles away from two separate indoor training facilities.
You want to know why Dave Van Horn left? Yes, because he's an Arkansas alum. You want to know why Dave Van Horn left?
I do.
Why do you think Dave Van Horn left, Josh?
Because he was just sick of the politics here.
No, Dave Van Horn loved it here. Dave Van Horn loved it.
Oh, he seemed pretty happy at Arkansas.
He's a lot more happy at Arkansas. But he's also sad at Arkansas because he can't win, and they really want him to win. But they love Dave Van Horn. Why every year the best mid-major coaches get taken and put in bigger jobs in the Big Ten or in the SEC? So yes, I'm talking about it football and basketball now. Every year that happens. Every year. So yeah, the Big Ten is a mid-major baseball conference. It's okay. It doesn't have to be as much as it is. I think it probably plays into it a little bit too much. It probably accepts its fate a little bit too much. It could put more investment into it. It could care about it more from a conference-wide scale. But they won't because, once again, nothing compels them to do so. Nothing compels them to do so.
Also, I do think this is an important piece of information for Tim.
What?
And anyone listening.
Yes. Howard Hawks died.
Howard Hawks has left us.
Yes. This was a couple months ago.
No.
Yes.
That money
His money is still here.
That money still exists.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And also, Tim, yes, Arkansas does have Walmart money and Tyson Chicken money. Of course they do.
That's how they got their basketball
but they
coach.
They have people, and a lot of them, who care.
Oh, what about, let's stop nickel and diamond this with Alex Gordon. Let's ask Warren Buffett. He's right here.
Oh, great point.
He's right down the street. I'll go ask him during the break.
Go walk down there, Josh. It's raining outside. He'll appreciate
I have an umbrella, though.
You do.
Something Michael Severe has never had.
You're one of the very few people I know, Josh, that actually has an umbrella.
Well, there was literally one by the front door this morning, and I said, I'm going to take this.
I think I'll take this.
Was it mine to take? No, not really, but
here's a tweet from Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Different Rick, I think. At Happer Show, maybe stop taking some calls for a while.
No. Phone eats first.
All right. Time for MLB reaction overreaction. Coming up next on 1620 The Zone.